This is the If More Let's Divide podcast.
Yo, Charlie guys, what's happening? Welcome to the If More Let's Divide podcast. And Fred, I think it's about time you do the intro.
Why?
You today try, Charlie.
Why did you like change order?
No, you try.
As in the whole
Yeah,
intro.
yeah.
Guys, Mutombo normally says, yo, welcome to the If More Left Device
I was
podcast.
saying let's devise.
Yeah. You see, I'm not used to this, but welcome, man. Welcome.
Yeah, Charlie guys.
Welcome.
Another episode, season 5, still going strong. We've had some dope episodes, amazing guests, who keep on coming through, and they're going to come through. Fred, I think for season 6, dear, I did see say something mega. Go,
Booyaka more. You know what's crazy? Mm-hmm. I ran into an old Accra Academy student, but he's an architect. And I was showing a place to a client who wanted to, rent space.
Has he got dread?
No, okay. Short hair. His name is Joseph. And as soon as I walked in, he said, yo, if more, let's divide, man. Charlie, big fan. And the white guy that was renting the space is looking at me like, okay, what the hell is going on?
We have a star in the house.
So I was like, oh, you didn't watch this? She said, yeah, Charlie, I did follow you guys, man. I subscribe. It's on my notifications. I love the show. You guys are doing amazing. It's very informative. Yeah. And I'm standing there, I'm like, I hope all of this leads to this guy renting the place.
More money. Yeah, if it happen. Yeah. Charlie, and as usual, we never ever fail with our guests. We ensure that we bring you relevant people. But today we have someone who I have known for some years, many years.
As usual.
Yeah, as usual. I don't know how we crossed paths, but we have been friends. I think blogging Ghana, those days, Yeah.
Oh, how come I didn't meet her? I was a blogger too.
But you weren't in Ghana.
True.
We are not friends, but we are friends. You know that thing. When we meet, we will vibe and and I hope that we were a little bit friendlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I can call her and chat randomly. Yeah, but Charlie, she's busy. She has so many things going on. Like I said earlier on, she's a blogger. She's a mother. Mm-hmm. She's a home chef.
Yep.
She did do so many things. She used to be a corporate, woman.
Yeah.
But I think, we are going to find out why, the switch. I think she's now, I can best say she's an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yeah, in her own right. Guys, without further ado, help me welcome Naa Oyoo.
Booyaka.
Nah.
Yo.
Ganyobi.
What's up?
Charlie, cool. We thank you for coming through the podcast.
Yeah.
You have been on my list for a while now, but
I somehow suspected it.
Pardon?
I don't know, but something was telling me that one day.
Yeah.
One day
you
call me
you've
here.
been on my list since season 2. Since
awesome.
season 2. But we wanna own we actually create stuff, and we know that Naa is going to be better for season 5. Because you special. You be special. We are not saying those people
He's
who came
vibing me,
earlier.
isn't he?
Yeah. So we thank you for coming through.
Thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be
Us.
here.
The first thing you said to me, and I've seen you tweet about it before, and today we are going to enter. I have so many questions to ask you.
I'm in trouble.
Because you have tweeted about North K boys before.
Me? No.
Should I pull up the tweet?
No.
You said the exact same thing when I met you.
Right.
You said North K boys are bad. What experience do you have with North K boys? Because I am a North K guy to the core.
Yeah.
I was born in North K. I have lived in North K, and I'm still living in North K. So yes, what issue do you have with?
I don't have issues with North K boys. Honestly, Okay, so the thing is, I was born and raised in Mamprobi.
Yeah.
Okay, I went to school in Richard.
Yay.
School.
Yay.
Oh,
You know,
Bougie.
okay.
it's not
Is
bougie.
this gonna be fun?
No, because Richard back then it was
Back then-
Kankpeo.
No, Richard back.
madam,
Oh, come on.
It was
now.
okay. No, we had a
will not
healthy
convince
balance.
anybody.
We had a healthy balance of DB and
No,
you know.
no.
I'm telling you, my time. I'm not talking of your time. My time,
Oh,
which
Ah,
was
wait. When was your time?
in the 90s.
Same. About
It
you,
would be
you feel say what?
Relax. Anyway, let me continue with my story. So back then, you know, we used to have like sports activities and stuff. You know, some way, somehow, I don't know, but we always had this healthy, you know, competition between Red Church, Christ the King, Morning Star.
The DB schools that. Okay, go on. Sorry.
Sorry.
And Martin de Porres
Yeah.
somehow
That's our school.
came in there, you know. So I don't remember how, but I knew quite a number of people from Martin de Porres, and which included, you know, of course, guys, you know, and most of them happened to live around here. I don't know why, but you know, and I
So
had
the
lots of
problem
friends
with
in
Martin de
Dantuman
Porres
as
boys.
well. You know, maybe the Martin de Porres boys always come to hit on us, you know, the rich church girls and stuff. So,
True.
So based on something that was happening in the 90s, North Cape boys are bad.
Oh, it's still there. Unless they've all relocated and, you know, Japan and stuff like that. But, you know.
Yeah.
But I actually love the vibe here, you know. Because I think North Cape is also close to Tesano.
Yeah.
You know, and Tesano too had that vibe, that
Yeah,
DB
yeah,
vibe
yeah.
back then. So it was nice, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like bad boys like bad, but as in like,
Yeah,
you know,
wow.
they had a vibe. They had a good vibe. So
How was
Yeah.
growing up in, you know, the Mamprobi like?
Mamprobi is Charlie. I think, well, I kept to myself a lot, you know, because after I went to Infantiman, I was there for, of course, like 3 or 4 years. 3 years?
Three
4
years.
years, 3
3
years, yes. And,
Unless
you
you
know,
repeat.
I was a science student. No. I was a science student, so I studied a lot. So I didn't tend to like mingle so much with the neighborhood kids. But I love Mamprobi because that's where I learned how to ride my first bicycle. You know, my dad back then was like one of the early importers of BMX bicycles.
Oh, really?
So we used to ride at Salvation Army, used to ride around the area, like Samaha Junction was like, yeah, that's where everybody like Samaha,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah. And I went to church at St. Francis of Assisi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and my grandma was in Dansuman. So like, you know, there was this whole community there. It was, you know, everybody knew everyone. I love that. You know, you could easily go to your neighbor's house, you know, go and raid their bookshelf, you know, look through stuff. Oh, and Kolebu was there. So my dad had like friends living in Kolebu, doctor friends, of course, and would always walk there, like, you know, doing stuff. It was just cool.
So
Yeah.
how did Kolebu help you with your science? You know, because you said you
Oh,
did
the
sciences.
science stuff, that was my dad's thing. He wanted me to become a doctor, you know. I don't know.
So-
Back then, it's like,
Yeah.
everyone has to be a doctor.
So
Yeah.
didn't he push you to some of his the doctor friends at Kolebu to like give you them to give you?
Mentoring and
Yeah.
stuff. No, he'll be more like, oh, you see Dr. Saki? You have to become a doctor like him. But like, you know,
Yeah.
aside from that, no. There wasn't much mentoring back then.
Back then, yeah.
You know, you have to
actually.
figure it out by
Yeah,
yourself,
yeah.
you know, learn as you go, the hard way, you know, make mistakes and learn by yourself, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Fred, did you have any mentor as a young boy?
Mentor.
Me, no.
To this
It,
day.
it was same.
To this day.
Yeah, same. I have never ever,
Charlie.
and I would say that I figured everything out
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was on an episode. I said, I think my life would have been better if my mom hadn't passed very, very early.
Yeah.
Because my mom was my only mentor.
I was raised
Okay.
by rappers, I say. Rapper or rappers, maybe.
But do you think having a mentor at that early age makes sense? Nah.
It does. It does. Let me tell you something. I think I remember one of my first excursions when we were at church, and we took an excursion to GNPC back then. And Madam Esther Koba, she was still there.
Yeah,
And
that name is old.
yes, powerful name.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, listening to her, and she was talking about how the place works, the processes, the systems, etc. And she spoke to us like, and of course, auntie to her, nieces, sort of. I remember being so like, oh my gosh, like all inspired. I had that feeling, but of course, much later in years, much, I mean, I forgot about her unless, I see on TV or something, Some way, somehow, I found myself in the oil and gas industry. It was just the weirdest thing. I saw her like a month ago, and I had to tell her how, like,
Her talk to you.
Sort of. I feel like it's really helped me along my journey, like subconsciously, because you see these people and you aspire to become them subconsciously. Like, you want your life to be straight. You want to, walk a certain path to get to where you want to be, even as a young woman. So I think she really inspired me on that. And of course, for me, I had aunties who would also like be in the corporate world and also tell you, look, you have to work hard, or you have to work a certain way, to become where you want to be. Like, I have this auntie, I don't know if I should mention her name, but I used to be her HR assistant, and she would, her company was influential enough, so like a lot of the banks brought like vacancy positions and stuff to her, and I got to like go through the application letters and stuff, and I had to sort them out, call people up and all that. And back then I remember, why is this woman so strict on me? Like, but much later I got to understand, like, hey, if you mess up in the corporate world, and I got to understand, like, working with a spirit of excellence, like, gets not just a reward, but like recognition. It's like, that's what gets you promoted. You can work in a place and maybe you came without the connections or political connections and stuff, but because you work hard, trust me, it gets noticed, And for me, like, she has been also a sort of mentor, because I didn't get that much from my mom. My mom was always busy at work. So I always used her wisdom or her words to sort of like push me wherever I found myself. So, how in Ghana, like, you're trying to work excellently and people will be like, hey, now they are, and then are you the only one who, you know how Ghanaians are when you are really putting your best to something. So it's really, really helped me in my career back then. Until now, anyway.
For me, we went for these, sightseeing and, excursions.
Yeah, exactly.
And like you said, people will talk to us, encourage us. It will be in me for like a week. Then I'm back to default settings.
Back to settings.
Back to default settings. Charlie Fred.
Miss Oyoo. How do you say your name?
Oyoo.
Naa
Oyoo. Ga.
It's a very unique Ga name.
Yes,
it is. What does it come? What does it stand for?
Well, in the Kwase family, the Oyos are like, for the firstborn girls. So like, I'm the firstborn for my dad.
Okay.
Like, so after Oyoo, there's Kwale, there's Kwako.
Okay.
So if you come across a Kwate and it's, a woman, there's a high potential she's going to be Oyoo or she's going to be Kwako. And also depending on the way, the house that you come from, in the Kwakpan way in Jamestown. Yes. So that shows the position that you come from.
So are you from Jamestown?
Yes, of course.
You're Gaga.
Oh, I'm like
both parents.
Yes, my mom is from Osuzo.
Oh, okay, nice. So pure Ga.
Yeah, true to the bone.
What's one thing?
But they say I don't look like a Ga woman though.
Yeah. What
people see me and they think I'm Nigerian.
What's one thing have you heard about Ga women that you want to debunk?
Oh, that we like fighting.
I thought you debunked the one that you guys like sex.
No, that's not us. I was going to mention a place, but I'll mention it.
The Krobo women.
I didn't say it.
But they are Ga, that means.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same family as well.
Okay, cool.
Wow. I read a bunch of your tweets.
Okay. All right.
And I try to dig around.
Yes, you go wild on
Sometimes.
X.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the boys thing.
Oh, why?
I like it. I want to-
How about you, Pa? We start
Why?
off.
How many times do I talk about guys?
I want to talk about
Hardly.
it. No, I want to talk about
Yeah.
the guys. Because somebody said a showman or a shyman, which I don't know about a shyman, guys. And you replied or
No.
quoted
Me. I'll
saying,
never respond to anything on.
"Not
You put
gay
me in
boys
trouble."
to
The gay boys are worse.
a West.
Oh, no.
West
it's not
side.
true.
So, jokes aside, I mean, I love the experience that you shared
Yeah.
about, the proximity to all the different neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Growing up was fun then. But what particular experiences can you maybe shed some light on that? Tweets can be very lost in context.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm sure there's a thought process behind even the joke. There's a little bit of a, meaning there about your experiences with guys from particular neighborhoods. I mean, is there anything in general that you experienced that you can talk about to shed light on that? Or
Not really.
have you dated a not gay boy before?
Yes.
Okay, how was it like?
It was terrible.
So why you see? So why did you take us back to the 90s?
Huh?
Why
I
did you
thought
take
that
us?
was way back in the 90s.
Oh, that was in the 90s.
Or early 2000s, I think.
What made it
No,
terrible?
early 2000s. Yeah.
What made the not gay experience terrible?
No, because, cheating, having a guy having more than like one
Oh,
girlfriend. and stuff.
Is
that
that a consequence
Yeah.
of environment or just boy stuff?
It's just boy stuff, yeah.
Okay, but you just
But then I'll be like, why am I even wasting my time with this person,
Yeah.
Or like, they spend way too much time in the clubs, drinking and partying and stuff,
So I just want to create some
So-
contrast. So which boy from what area did not cheat?
Hey, that's your question.
No, because I'm
Why are you
trying
making it area specific?
No,
If
you
a
said
boy
not
would
gay,
cheat,
so
you
I'm saying
cheat.
I'm trying to create some. Maybe the
No.
boys didn't cheat, or
Oh,
or maybe they're like,
no. Don't
So
even
then-
go there. No, it's not.
Customers
It's not location specific. If a guy would cheat, he would cheat.
But
I mean,
just say
back
you
then
meet
people
enough
would
gay
say that,
boys.
oh, these boys from this particular area are like extremely bad boys, like players and
Yeah,
stuff.
I think back in secondary school, I heard that Tema girls were bad.
yeah, you would hear stuff
Mami,
like
so I
that.
heard infant
But
girls be badder.
Infanti man.
Infant man.
Yeah.
Like if they set girl way, she's not going to do. I don't want to. turn off
well,
the lights.
unfortunately, man-sized girls, we had. I don't know about now, but like back then, we had a bad rep. So
Was
don't
it
ask me
justified?
about. Don't ask me about it. see, in Fatima, my experience there was just I didn't like the school.
Some of the
honestly.
girls try to chop you.
Oh yeah, I mean,
No, a bit that one there.
Yeah.
Boy school normal, girl school normal.
yeah, but I wasn't comfortable with that. The sorts of things I saw, like it's such a harsh environment.
Yes. Secondary
to
school
be
in Ghana, Charlie.
Charlie.
No, in Fatima was just terrible. Like, so I think that girls always found an outlet, which was the fun fairs, the dancing, and we're known to be like really good dancers back then. I don't know about now, but yeah. And those say we are bad because, the girls would try and run out of school, no exits, kind of thing, go to the boys' school and stuff. Or like normal days, maybe there's a fanfare in another school, and they said they'll all go. And they always say that we are more chill than the other girls.
Yeah. Did you intentionally match your lipstick with your frames?
No, I love red. Yes.
How does red make you feel?
Maybe I'm a woman of passion.
Yeesh, Charlie. Passionate.
Don't think of passion in terms of sexual passion, but like
But why? Why should you
I'm just very passionate about everything that I
Yeah.
do. Yeah. So
strong woman?
Yeah.
even my daughter has asked me like, "Mommy, you like red too much?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like I'm drawn to.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm buying like my new bicycle is red,
No.
Like-
dope.
but I didn't choose it. The guy sent it to me, and like the minute I saw it was red, I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
Yeah.
So
You said you worked at GMPC.
no, Tullow.
Oh, you worked at Tullow
Yes.
Oil.
Yes, oil and gas.
Okay. You went for an excursion at
Excursion,
GMPC.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So you worked at Tullow. That's dope.
I know, right?
It's so dope because I know people who crave to be at Tullow. How many years were you there?
6 years, 6 or 7 years.
And why did you quit Tullow?
Because they were doing a global layoff back then. So, in the oil and gas industry, every 7 years, it's a cycle. Every 7 years, they do layoffs.
Really?
Because of production issues and all that. So, I don't know if, maybe you weren't focused on it, but back then it was in the news a lot.
No.
So, like, they did, like, layoffs in, like, the UK, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana. Yeah, back then. That was 2014, 2015. Yeah. I mean, they're still doing it now, but it's, like, it's reduced.
Oh, okay.
But,
Wow. So...
Yeah, but I started working there 2009. It's so weird. When I applied for a job, I didn't even know Ghana had oil. Like, mente crap was it's like anything like oil. So, yeah, my aunt was like, "Oh, there's this job, go and apply for it." And my aunt is the one I used to work for as her assistant. Yeah, she's the type
Say
that.
her name.
No.
Oh, okay. You said you asked if you should, so now I'm saying.
Why is she known?
Maybe, in some circles.
Okay. Then you after you
I'll whisper it to you. Anyway, so like she told me about it, and I was like, oh, okay, assistant, a team assistant. Let me apply for that, and I did. And you know what helped me to get a job? Like, I didn't go with connections. Like, my auntie is not the type that mention my name. No, go and do what you can. And I went into the interview with like 3 other people, and I waited for my turn. And it was about health and safety, the team that I was going to work for. So I showed them like copies of newspaper articles I'd written about health and safety.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So it's not blogging. No, I started writing before even blogging. Yeah. So I written a couple of articles for this newspaper that was coming out. And I was writing about home and safety in the home, like, how to keep your home safe and all that. And I showed it to them at the interview. See, they were so impressed. They were like, they've never seen a woman or a Ghanaian like do anything like this before. Because they were foreigners in the interview. So they're super, super impressed. I got a job like the next day. See, my God, I'll never forget. That's when I started working at a job, and I'm like, oh, Ghana has oil.
Yeah.
And it was interesting. The thing is, after 1 year, I wanted to quit the job. Yes, I wasn't feeling fulfilled. I felt like my potential wasn't being, tapped into and stuff. Like, a whole graduate like me, and look at the cocoa work they are giving me. No, honestly, because, everything was too easy. I don't like, it wasn't challenging me, Yeah, so our first office was in a home, like someone's home in Labone, by a very big house, And my desk was like literally facing the wall, So
Face the wall, Kukunte.
I swear. I mean, everybody had their positions and stuff, like, in a space like this, So like every time they give me work, I'm like, is this all I'm going to be doing? Like, it's been 1 year now, So I put in like, during my appraisal, I'll say, oh, I want to be trained in like health and safety itself, And it was always being ignored, like, I'm like, this is my manager, he doesn't like me or what? And he was a foreigner, And I really wanted to quit the job, but something was telling me that I should hold on,
For 5 more years.
Hey, no. Anyway, so I took it into prayer. You know me already, Charlie. I'll pray about it right now.
Yeah.
And I did, what I call seed sowing. I'm like, God, please help me on this thing. One day, I had closed late, like 6. And then the country manager is passing by my desk, like, oh, you haven't closed? Very British, company. I'm like, no, I'm still, what happened to your training? You haven't brought me your forms and all that. I'm like, no, he was like, have you brought in your forms? Like, have you put in any training requests? I'm like, oh, yes, I have. It's like, oh, really? I was like, well, my manager hasn't signed off. The man was shocked. Bring it to me this instant. I'm like, okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm like, hey, wait, I can't jump my, But the way he was, and then HR also called me and like, oh, this is what he said, So I took it to him, and yeah, that's how I got into my first training in Dubai,
Oh wow.
Yes, like it was crazy. Anyway, so I got all the like health and safety training for like 2.5 years. I used to go offshore, to the rigs, do inspections. It was scary, but dope. But I'm like, hey, how long can I keep doing this? Because you're in the helicopter, like, on and off, all that. Very exciting, but scary if you haven't been on a rig before,
Yeah.
And this is what people do like consistently all the time, So it gave me a whole lot of experience, and in food as well, because I had to do like training in food safety. So how, because you'd be surprised that there'll be rats on a rig.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, someone be like, where are the rats coming from?
Rats everywhere.
Yeah, because they have containers of, cargo coming on board.
Yeah.
Anything can be on board, So you have to inspect these things and make sure like the food is being kept safe, it's being prepared well, hygienically, and all that. So food safety, I'm like super big on it now. Yeah, all that training.
So, Fred,
No, go ahead.
so that means you actually brought that into what you are doing now.
Seriously,
Food
like
Dope.
yeah. So
Yeah.
when I got into food, it's really made me realize that, oh wow, I didn't actually get training. That's for nothing. Like now I can actually apply it further.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes.
So how was the feeling like when you realized that you were about to be laid off?
Oh, that was crazy scary. But if you work there for a while, you have like good benefits, that they send you off with, and all that. So
That's
it's like you're not going away empty-handed.
empty-handed.
So you have a plan B, because by then I started my blogging, right? I was doing the fashion accessories and stuff, so and I think as a young woman back then, I made very good choices for myself, in terms of like finances, because I'm not the sort of woman, like I don't overspend. I watch what I buy and stuff. I'm very conscious of that fact. I don't take loans by heart, because when you're working corporate, trust me, the bank can be very, very persuasive. Oh, your company is paying this percentage, and you are paying just very small. So, take a loan, buy a nice car and all that. I did take a loan for a car, but I made sure that it was something I could pay within a short time frame.
Yeah.
I bought a home use car, a Yaris, and I paid it off within like 2 years or so.
No, okay.
And they'll come and persuade you, oh, take some more. Your loan has finished. Oh, take some more. Like, no, I don't need
Don't
it.
fall for it.
Yeah, it's okay, And I'm so grateful, because when we're laid off, like in my head, I was like, oh, snap, like by now I'm owing the bank, and now I the money that has been giving me, I have to use it to pay off the loan or something,
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
smart
dope.
choices.
Yeah, sure. I'm taking you back.
Hey, not to
to
guys,
boys,
so
don't worry.
please,
Not
I
to
beg.
You sound like the kind of woman that would genuinely be upset if you were to find out that your auntie did in fact make a call without you knowing to Tullow.
Oh, I mean, it would be some way, because it would be like I'm not here on merit, like connection wise. Well, it is. I mean, integrity is a big deal for me.
So I'm going to ask you a question on that because it's just an idea in my head and I thought I should spit it out. There's been some level of discussion about nepotism if you're on the social media landscape right now, especially because of LeBron.
Yeah.
His kid joined the NBA.
Oh, okay.
And they're trying to say that it's not based on merit. But there's also the other side of the coin that's saying people get to their various positions because of relationships. The world kind of functions on that. It's easier for you to give somebody an opportunity because somebody referred them or put in a word for them. I don't know if you're familiar or agree with that idea, but I think in general, a lot of people, if you talk to them thoroughly, you find out somebody said, go do this here, or somebody said, meet this person and whatnot. And you said your aunt was not very keen on using her clout to fix people in positions. So the question to you is, how do you feel about presenting opportunity to others if, like you, sounded like you were based on merit worthy of the position, but you could have been overlooked if, let's say, in your situation you weren't, but let's say somebody didn't put you there or make a phone call or whatever. How would you feel about that particular situation? Do you, like, beneficially, do you think is a good thing to have in an institution?
To be referred not based on merits, based
No.
on because of someone
That
you know.
relationships will get you in position.
Well, it depends, I mean, for me, if I hear of a particular position, I see something on LinkedIn and I'm like, oh, I know somebody who could, or should apply for this job. And I think I know someone in the company. But before I even refer the person, like, I want to be very sure this person is capable of doing that job, because it will blow back on me if they go and disgrace me there.
Of course.
Do you understand? Like, they'll be like, this guy, brought here. He doesn't know the work. She doesn't know the work.
Yeah.
Why would she do that? That's my reputation at risk. You understand?
But ultimately, you don't think there's anything wrong with it if you...
For me, can the person do the work?
Yes.
Is the person qualified?
Yes.
So if they can refer, I mean, why not? If the person, because
But
there's different ways to get.
But Fred, I think
you
your initial question on nepotism and also referrals. I think they are different.
Yeah. So people, I think people call it nepotism when there's blood relation.
Yeah, like you can say that about the current government.
So like putting family into...
putting family.
Yeah.
So I think it's different. Referrals, like
referrals is totally different from
and nepotism.
Yeah. Oh, there's this position. Oh, that's my son. Put him there. Yeah. So that's more like authoritative, right?
Yes,
like, because of my power.
So the pushback that I'm hearing from the government side of things, and aptly Mutombo brought them up because really that's where I was trying to get to, so I can insult them small before they leave. The pushback that they are giving is, aren't they Ghanaian? And if they are qualified, then what's the big deal?
No, but then
a big deal.
Why then? Is a position put out there publicly, or is it like secretly? Oh, some will be like, oh, even though they've posted the vacancy publicly, secretly they've already taken someone.
Yeah.
That's what people would say.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And that is wrong.
Okay.
Give everyone a fighting chance.
Yeah.
Put it out there. Yes, take my son's CV, take other people's CV, and go through it. And why would you force it down their throats because, oh, that's my son and I'm the minister of whatever?
Yeah.
Guys,
and my
head,
I actually heard that when they are doing their bidding, they bring
they already know who they are taking.
The Daily Graphic, put it
they
there.
They already know.
But they've picked
the person already. So they're just doing that just to satisfy that, oh, yes, we did a due process, but behind the curtain, we've already taken the person.
And surprisingly, quite recently, people who get some of these contracts, right, they register the companies a day before.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
Yes, I've heard that.
They are not even crafty enough to say not put the company to their home address. Registered yesterday, this is my home address, clear as day, this is who I am. We just don't give a fuck about what you think.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
Charlie, talking about jobs, like I'm saying, I'm picking up on things that you are saying, as you talk. And I forgot that at a point in time, you were doing these crafts, earrings and all that. How come you are so good with your hands? Like,
It's research, I guess.
Because, you cook, craft, you do so many things. How come you're so good?
I think it's a mixture of genes and then where I went to school. So research focused a lot on, the use of our hands to do stuff. Because when we were research, we had backyard gardens. So for growing stuff. And then we had visual arts, graphic design and stuff, at a point, I actually thought I was going to become an architect, you know, and I really love technical drawing and technical skills and stuff like that.
Genes, yeah.
My genes. So I have an uncle who is an architect, and I have an aunt who is in the food space. She's a professor in food and nutrition, you know. So somehow, like, it's there for me. I find a lot of joy, like, I'm not a very good artist, but I've done art before. But, you know, I'm trying to improve on that.
Yeah.
It gives me a lot of peace when I'm going through something, you know. I love solving puzzles, you know. Sewing not so much, but I love to design. You know, I love to design. Like, I want to design something for you to wear. Yes, I love to do stuff like that. Yeah, it comes, I don't know. Like, I may be tired, but cooking I can stand for 2 hours and cook a meal. But, like, I'm really hungry, but I can't wait to, like, actually bring out something amazing with what I cook, you know. So, it's just me, I guess.
What else are you able to do, not just with your hands? What else do you do that no one actually knows? Well, you just mentioned you painting. I think I've seen you have posted a painting of yours before, or a drawing of yours.
No,
okay, so
not
okay.
me. No, but I think I have interest in digital skills. You know, I did a bit of social media marketing.
We actually
training in that.
coming to that.
So my skills in that I developed because of blogging. So because I really was interested in how a blog works, how to get an audience to read my blog, and all that. So I actually did a Coursera course in a 6-month course in social media marketing and digital skills and all that.
Nice.
So that, you know, enhances my creativity because, you know, you need the social media aspects to sell what you are making, you know. So it all adds up, doesn't it? Yeah.
Should I go?
I just wanted to ask you about the layoff. Why wasn't the natural pivot to look for
another
job
corporate
in the
job?
industry?
I think I was. I mean, I think I was tired of the corporate life. Maybe like I wanted a break away from it. And
There are too many bad boys in there.
Oh no. I mean, it had its, you know, scandals. You know, I mean, corporate life. Which corporate life doesn't have scandals? Unless you are there before you know. If you're not there, you hear. You know. I think I wanted a break, and then soon after I got married, and then somehow, like when I had a baby, I was like, wow, if I was in the corporate world, it would be so much harder, you know, because, you know, in the corporate world, like 3 months, you're back at work, you know, and you haven't even fully recovered physically and mentally, even emotionally, because you're not sleeping enough, you know, as you know how it is, you know. So I really thought about it. I'm like, wow, like by now, Charlie, I'm like super more stressed, you know. So it all works out for my good. Maybe I might go back as a consultant this time because, you know, I feel like both worlds, you know, gives you a lot of experience, whether as an entrepreneur or as a corporate. So if you have both worlds coming together, trust me, your experience is like here, you know,
Dope. So let's talk about blogging. You just said something, but I'll come back to that later.
Okay.
Let's talk about blogging. I think I met you during one of Blogging Ghana's events.
Or something,
Blog Camp events. I think you've won some awards before. Right? How or why did you decide to blog, to share your thoughts, to share what you do? And especially at that time where it was now coming up, you know, you were so well versed in that field. What took you there from? What took you there?
Someone said I talk too much, and I'm like, I don't even talk that much. Like, you know. So he was like, have you heard of a blog? I'm like, what's that? So I went to Google, checked it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So my first blog was on Blogger.
Oh wow, that's old school.
Challenge, like blog at blogspot.com.
Yeah, blogspot.com.
That's where I was.
Yeah. Same.
And I remember my one of my early posts was about being 30 and single, and how, like, what it meant for me and how people saw it, people's stereotypes, against women who are in their 30s and single, and that post like blew up. I remember when I shared it on Facebook, like there's so many comments, and then people also like sending me messages on the back end because they didn't want to respond or reply and stuff, Yes. So I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting.
This works.
So I started writing more, and then, much later it's like, oh, I can actually monetize, But then, of course, for me, it was more about sharing our stories, and I really wanted to focus more on the Ghanaian culture, because I'm like, that was 2010-ish. So the world still had this, negative view of our culture when it comes to certain things, or lacked the knowledge of our culture.
Yeah.
So I started writing more about our food, like recipes, what our wax prints mean, So when you see the wax prints, what does it mean? Because some of them are like, they have names, Achachidechi and stuff like that. High life, and even though it was started by GTP, they still took our names, or local phrases to name their block one. So the block one patterns all have names, not like the recent ones, So I actually wrote blog posts about that. I wrote about the meanings behind the trotro buses. Because I was like, why do they always have all these interesting things at the back of their buses, And people found them interesting. Like, so people always find cool stuff about Ghana through my blog. Yes. You'll be like, oh, I've been looking for this information for the longest time. Oh my gosh. Like, and then I started featuring like local food vendors who have been around for like 100 years. So like local bakeries that have been in Jamestown, they've been baking like 100 years plus.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There are bakeries in this
country.
Yeah.
And they are using the clay oven. Like, they're not using like gas oven, clay.
So it's been passed on generation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yes. So I started writing about them, and like I have like readers from everywhere across the world, like, actually going to these places because of my blog, I mean, the awards were great, but I felt the impact was like more relevant to me, because once in a while you're there and someone like, oh, I read this, your post, because I write about my miscarriage, or I write about my marriage, or I write about my kids, or no, my kid, I don't have kids, or something, and they could relate so much, and they'll be so grateful that I'm actually sharing something that maybe they were struggling with, or, they were looking for some information about Ghana, and mine was very specific to it. Yeah. So, yeah.
So, very, very crazy that you mentioned this, like, right now, this very minute. How do you put a thought to it when you are sharing something from you with the world, something very, very personal, like your marriage, your kids? Quite recently, you spoke about why you had a C-section to the pussy, pushing.
Yeah.
Do you think twice?
Wow.
Pussy pushing.
Oh, shit.
He tried.
Yeah. Well,
But
pushing
now.
Yeah. Do you
Wow.
do you think twice before sharing something so personal? Because people on the internet can be vile and mean and horrible.
Yes. Of course, I give it some thoughts. Why am I sharing it? What do I aim to achieve by sharing it? So for me, I always feel like we are all human, and we all go through similar experiences.
Yeah.
Not everyone can talk about their experiences. They'll probably go online and look for like solutions to what they are going through.
Yeah.
But if someone can relate with you because you're Ghanaian, you're a woman, they are more likely to like, understand, from your point of view, what you are going through. It's easy for them to relate, I mean, sharing about miscarriage, I'm not the first woman to have a miscarriage. And trust me, like, it's only when I shared about my miscarriage that my aunties told me about theirs.
Wow.
Yes. And these are aunties that you've grown up with, but they never talk about these things.
Yeah.
And then you realize that, oh, snap, like, we literally have similar experiences and how to go through it, because it's rough. It's hard, on women to go through such experiences alone.
That's crazy.
Yes,
A miscarriage, right?
Yeah.
You carried and now you've miscarried.
Yeah. So I it's something that I've been thinking about, like, because my sister died from, is it stillbirth?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my younger sister died
wow.
like in 2014. And from that
So
time,
sorry.
I've been thinking about how it is. Like, so fine, you are going to give birth and the baby dies, right? So me personally, what I keep on thinking about is, how is the body going to change back? Because you are about to give birth, there is milk in your boobs, and all that. Like, how is your body going to readjust? Is the brain going to tell the body that, okay, so now there is no child, so drain the milk,
Well,
have you?
my experience was different. So there's different types. There's stillbirth. There's, so mine was more like an early miscarriage. So that was
Okay.
like 12 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So mine didn't get to that level, But there've been women who, like, they've carried up to like 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
And the baby has died in them, yes. And they have to take the baby out. So a woman's body is magic. Like,
It
it's
is.
a wonderland.
No, be serious, oh.
Yeah.
It is.
Only women are women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the expression on your face. Yes.
Only women are women.
Yes.
That's my only contribution.
Somehow the body lets go of everything.
Yeah.
Yes, they'll do you a surgery to take out the child. But as you are there, like, stuff come out.
Yeah.
Because your hormones are now reducing. So the hormones that were producing the estrogen that's producing like the milk and stuff, it reduces. So all those things reduce and stuff like that. So
Tomo, let me just ask you a quick question before I forget. You were talking about miscarriage and finding out from your aunties about their miscarriages. Can you speak on that a little bit? Because I'm not in a very good position to speak about issues about women. But I think there is some level of assigned shame culturally, or some form of, do not speak about this, it's sacred, or it's taboo, or it's a bad thing. Don't let anybody know that you've been through this, because it's a stigmatization.
Yeah,
if
definitely.
that is. Can you speak a little bit on it, and what pushed you to go write about it, and then hearing your aunties talk about it and how it made you feel?
Well, like I said, I'm not the first woman to have a miscarriage in Ghana and globally. Women, I mean, there are lots of blogs that have also written about their experiences, Western blogs, right? Hearing my aunties share their story, like, it really comforts you that, okay, there's nothing wrong with you. Even though, like, culturally, like you're saying, the stigmatization is there, that, people will be saying stuff like, oh, you're not a woman enough, or, you're not capable of carrying a child, or they'll say you're eating your child spiritually. Especially if you had like 2 or 3 miscarriages, they'll say spiritually you've gone to hang your children on a tree, or like you're eating your children, And it gets to you. Once in a while you hear weird comments like, oh, if the child is not coming, go and do this or drink this, and stuff like that, But
Do you think that stops us from doing actual scientific research about what's happening? Because it's easy to say you're eating your child, or you hang the child on a tree, or whatever spiritual thought. Do you think that is an impediment to the understanding of the whys? I'm just curious, because I feel like, see, if you look at a problem, right, and you say you can just willy-nilly assign a reason to it. She miscarried because she's eating her children. She's miscarried because she's not a woman enough. That does not allow you intellectually to dig and find out why it's happening.
Yeah. I mean, like, of course, I mean, sometimes people, like, don't want to know the why. It's like trying to get more women to do breast cancer screening. Some people will say they don't want to know. Yeah, some people will tell you they don't want to know.
Wow.
Cervical cancer, they'll tell you they don't want to know. And I'm not even talking about older women. I'm talking about like women in their 30s and all that. You know, they'll tell you they don't want to know. Some would rather choose to be on the what can, or like rather pray about it, than actually get tested or get screened, and keep praying about it, Yeah. And that's
I think for me, when it will drain you fast. It's like,
It's possible.
I do remember my first HIV test back in the early 2000s. Yo, Fred, from
a test.
the time I went for the test to the time the results came.
That was like a
I
5 minutes wait, right?
No. It was days. This back then.
Oh my gosh! So you had to wait.
I died. No, I seriously died.
I believe
Oh
it.
my gosh!
It took like 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
I was drained
Oh wow!
because it was my ex, my very first girlfriend, who said no, we should go and do it.
Yeah.
So I
Before you
went
can
just
enjoy.
around the corner. It
Before
was
you got
nervous.
yeah.
Oh, nice. I
Yeah,
like
which actually
Very
made,
smart
made,
chick.
made sense.
Very
yeah,
smart
very
chick.
smart.
Yeah.
And I died. Now I was just
eat.
thinking, hey Charlie, what
What did I do with this
Did I do
person? What
wrong?
did I
Yeah.
do?
What if it killed me? So I do understand people when they
Yeah.
say they don't want to know, because depending on your mental, strength, you can die.
But now you
faster.
see, there's like prevention methods, there's like or medicines and stuff that can reduce the impact and stuff. Even if they say you have it, there's like treatments available.
Yeah, but
So and the earlier it is, the better.
yeah,
But you have to break through that mindset,
Yeah.
So both
Yeah.
of you, I'm sorry. I'm
Why
not
both
trying to
of us?
drag- Yeah, both of you. I wanted to ask you a question because I find an opportunity here. There's I think, maybe this is my stereotypical mind, but I tend to think that on this side of the world, there's some level of a lack of compassion that I don't know how to describe. But I don't expect an individual who is not trained or skewed mentally to say, let me go digging. Let me go understand why Mutombo died from testing. So therefore, there must be multiple Mutombos walking around that won't even test at all.
Yeah.
Or multiple Oyos around who are afraid of what it means to miscarry and won't try it out. But I think institutions should study their people, their cultural tenets, to say, our people are afraid of testing. Our people are this. How do we come up with a methodology that allows us to ease them and educate them so that we don't have to have people dropping off like flies and then you say, oh, Binekuno, somebody killed them. Last week he insulted somebody in traffic. We find multi-reasons to make suffering okay. You died because it's your destiny. Ebony got into an accident because she's XYZ. Meanwhile, you've left sand in the road. Nobody wants to research why it's like. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why are we like that?
Mutombo can explain. Me, I can't
are
explain.
you asking?
I'm
me?
asking both of you because you have shared both of your experiences, and I want to know.
So I think we come from a space or a country where Naa has made many mention of prayers. You said
Steeped in
yeah,
spirituality.
Yeah, we are really, really deep when it comes to things that we don't see.
That's spiritual.
We are afraid of things that we don't see more than the things that we see.
Yeah.
Fred, you would slap me and I wouldn't give a hoot. I would rather be happy when you slap me. But if I insult you and you don't slap me and you say, wait, you see. That is my death. So I think we come from a place where we put so much, or we've given so much power to things that we don't see. And I'll come to Naa Oyoo because she's actually made mention of prayers. I was actually going to come back to that. Am I cool?
That was a beautiful answer. Thank you.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
before I come back to prayers, still on your blogging and all that, right?
Okay.
I'm still on, like, when you are sharing stuff.
Right.
So you have a child, you know, and I'm sure that you have someone that you know, talk to. Okay, so for example, if you are sharing something about your child, do you speak to her dad before sharing?
Oh, well, I haven't shared anything that is inappropriate.
Okay.
Like, I haven't posted her photos or videos online.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So if I'm writing something concerning her, it has to be something more educative. Like maybe apps that I'm using to teach her.
Okay.
Right? So educational apps, or like how to handle like a picky eater, because she's a picky eater. Right? So for me, it's not directly about her, but it's like, it's more of a general thing. And then, you know, how I'm handling it, you know, when it comes to her.
Let me be silly for a second. Picky eater, is it that a B trait or is a real thing? Because
it's a real thing.
Really?
It's not a DB thing.
Okay.
It's I would say it's more of an urban thing.
You've seen picky eaters in the village?
No.
Inside?
So that's what I'm saying. It's more of an urban, not DB.
Okay.
So urban, so yeah, not, you know, urban could be,
because there is more in the house.
there's options.
You know that there is food
There's
in the house.
options, yes.
So is it lack of discipline or
No, it's
we are
not.
spoiling our
You know,
children?
now it's not that, because now children too are picking up like allergies from, you
The
know,
environment.
based on the environment, food that they eat, or like processed foods and stuff. You know, and the processed food is no longer just in the cities anymore. It's now in the villages. You know, like some of these sausages that are sold and stuff. You know,
Sausage. I'm telling people.
you know, all kinds of foods basically. You know, so kids become allergic to certain things. So that means they can't eat certain foods. You know, so that would make them picky. You know, like Mutombo said, there's options for them, but when you study children, you realize that 1 minute they'll say they don't like this, the next time they want it. So it changes gradually, and then after a while, you realize they'll like basically eat anything.
Yeah. You said you wrote a blog post about being 30 and single.
Yeah.
Now you have a kid, so I am guessing that you have someone, you know.
I'm divorced now.
Oh, you're divorced now?
Yeah, she said that.
Oh,
No,
really?
no, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, you said when you got married and then.
No. Really?
I was listening.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, so my question was, how is it now? Like, if you can compare it to when you were single to now that you have someone in your corner, how is it now? But now that you've told me that you are divorced, then that question is not valid. So back to my next question: how has, you know, you have a girl, right?
Yes.
How has it been like bringing her up? Is it just you, or you have support from, you know, her dad? You know, and how has it been like?
Well, I know it's not everything I can say here.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
No
you
pressure.
can say everything here, but it's up to you. That's how we are. You can say anything you like, but it's up to you.
Yeah. But yeah, it's majorly been just me physically.
Okay.
You know, for the past 5 years, physically, it's just been me. My mom comes to help out. You know, I'm so grateful she's still alive. You know,
Shout out to Mom Dukes.
Boyaka.
yeah. You know, but majorly it's been me. I had a good nanny for some time. Then I think she was tired or something, so I had to let her go. But majorly it's been me. You know, it's so interesting. Motherhood is fascinating, isn't it? It's like when you are sick. They don't know that you are sick. You know.
Forget it.
Yeah. So you have to take care of them whilst you are sick.
Yeah.
You know, I remember so many times, like maybe I've gone to eat some bad food or something, and I'm having like really bad food poisoning. So my tummy, this child, the minute you wake up now, she's also up. Even if it's 1 a.m., it's like they sense a change in the atmosphere or something, you know, and they want to be close to you. Like, meanwhile, you are like suffering, you know? Yeah. Or when they are sick, and like children, for some weird reason, get sick in the middle of the night, some odd hours.
Yeah.
They'll get fever like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's
like,
crazy.
Like, where is this from, you know?
It's crazy.
And then it will last for like an hour or two. You know, it's and it messes up with your mental psyche. Like, you know, like you are trying to be alert, and at the same time, like you're sleepy, and at the same time, you know, you have work to do and stuff, you know. Yeah, but her dad has been very supportive, you know, doing his responsibility as a father. So,
what's one thing did you take from your mom that you are ensuring that you are giving to your child?
My mom is like the complete opposite of me. Like she's very chill. She's more of the, you know, the boomers, right? They are more of the,
I don't like
boy, naturally, everything is naturally, you know, have patience or wait, you know. Sometimes I'm like, no, like do something, you know, we have to correct it now, you know, and stuff like that, you know. That's what I'm trying to like better myself at, you know, because, you know, sometimes there are situations that like you really have to be patient and wait it out, and then you'd see what will come out of it, you know. So, you know, I mean, my child is still 5, but this is the age where you have to discipline and instill these things in them.
It starts now.
You know, it starts now. Some people were like, oh, she's too young. No, this is a time where their brain absorbs so much, you know, and, you know, like, you know, kids, when they want something, they want it now.
Yeah.
They don't know about wait, you know. So I'm trying to like help her to understand that at this time you get it. So just be patient. Yeah. I mean, they'll try and manipulate you a bit, or try and, you know, find a way. You know, find a way to get what they want. But yeah, I keep telling her, I was a kid like you, so I know what you're trying to do. You know,
Why didn't you, you know, become like, you know, a website or a full-on website? Because people actually came to your blog sites for info. You said people went to Jamestown to see these, you know, these bread, you know, spots.
I mean, people still read it. Majority of them are like in the UK, US. You know, Ghana is like third, sort of. So when I look at the keywords and what they are searching for, it's stuff that people abroad are looking for to get to know. It went down a bit because of motherhood again. Because honestly, I think I had the worst form of brain drain, or like baby brain, you know. So the forgetfulness is real. You know, there's a thing that they say, like, you know, our brains shrink because of our hormones, you know.
Wow.
And the sleepless nights and stuff, it doesn't make it easy. So honestly, like, I'll take my laptop and I start typing and the words are not coming. Like, I can't form sentences. Yes. You know, crazy. I was wild. And for somebody who loves writing and reading, that was like hard on me. Like, I felt so bad. I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, am I sick? Like, is something wrong with me? Do you understand? You know, so I took a break. I'm like, Charlie. So what I would do is, when an idea comes on what to write about, I just write the topic on my phone somewhere, so that later on I'll come back to it and write, you know. It's so much better now. You know, I had to, like, you know, read dictionaries and stuff, trying to get words back, you know. Or like, I had to literally try and read like simple books and stuff. You know, just to get through that phase. But
that's crazy.
I'm still writing. Like, I'll be writing more. I mean, I'm still writing. I think I'm writing more about, you know, what I've gone through, the divorce and stuff. Because the last time I think I wrote about it, and so many people reached out, like, secretly.
Why do you share that? Like,
because people are going through it.
People are going through it.
And
so you are using
going
yourself
through.
as a sacrificial lamb.
I really don't mind. I know people be like, hey, the way she's talking. Like, no.
Do you think about the other person?
I'm not writing to like shame him or anything. You know, I'm writing about my experience. So it's my experience, you know, and how I'm coping. And the stereotypes typing that I'm facing.
Yeah.
You understand? Because it's really hard. It's really hard on me. You have a child and you're in this stage. Trust me, it's really, really hard.
I have a gang of questions coming at you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you always want kids?
I think I was more of like, if I have, fine. If I don't get, that's fine.
Because one of the things I think that stand out about you to me is you own motherhood. You own it as I'm a mom, I'm a mother. You've publicly done things in that vein. Like, I think you have some sort of Monica, even is it an organization or something about mother or something? Is it? Or
No.
Your blog, your
Accra
current
Mommy.
Accra,
Mommy.
okay.
Yeah,
What's
yeah,
that
yeah.
about?
So that's my blog.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So you weren't certain if you wanted to. You were half and half. Like, if I get it, fine.
Because not
Okay.
everyone gets a child when they want it. Maybe to come later, but people would assume that, oh, you just got married, have kids,
Okay.
immediately have kids, but they never ask if you're okay, or do you want to have kids? It's not everybody
Did you
also
always
wants.
want to be married?
Yes. I think for
Okay.
me it's
So the
it's
marriage.
something I wanted.
I'm trying to place priority in your life. Just trying to understand.
Yeah.
Marriage to you was, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Kids were okay, maybe if it happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it fair to say that the divorce has been more impactful to your life than if you wouldn't have had kids? Even
Yeah.
though you don't know that.
I mean, yeah, because impactful, because negative impacts, it's I don't think anyone should go through that. I mean, people go through it for all kinds of reasons, people have their reasons.
Why do you
But
think you went through it?
I can't say so much on that.
Yeah.
It wasn't my decision to make. So
Okay.
yeah,
Then let me ask you a different question. How do you feel about going through it?
it's like I said, it's not pleasant, but I'm better, so you have to be able to get up and go. You don't stay in that same place of pain,
Yeah.
You have to really work on yourself, get help, talk to the right people to get you through it. You don't stay in it and be like, just be moping or stay in the pain. Because
is it like heartbreak
no,
pain, or is it like
It's
I
worse.
failed pain?
it's a mixture of everything.
Okay.
It's a mixture of like, yeah, of course your heart is broken. You didn't expect it to happen to you. You thought you were going to be with this person for forever. And then there's also the feeling or your mind telling you failed, but really they'll tell you, like, you talk to people, you haven't failed.
Yeah.
Does it make you question yourself?
Of course. Like,
In what way?
because you would ask yourself, could I have done something better? Could I have been a better wife, or what could I have done better? But then you really assess it and you be like, see, like, I did the best I could, yeah.
Do you get closure from speaking to the person, or have you sought closure from trying to understand the person and why they left?
I mean, we've talked about it, so I think we are cool now. We are pretty cordial. So
Does it make sense?
to be cordial,
No, does it make sense, the closure you got? Or did you ever get to it?
it still baffles me. If I say like I'm being honest, it still baffles me.
Yeah.
You should be.
You
I
know,
mean, I love.
'cause,
I'm not trying to pry too much, but I feel like the reason why, because you've made yourself the sacrificial.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The reason why I talk about this intense. I'm not married. I've never been.
Okay.
Don't ask some people, some country. But
Clarify.
some country says I've been married before, but
Okay.
like marriage itself, I think for me, growing up in Ghana to a certain extent, it's made such a rite of passage and it's shoved down your throat, and your life is made to revolve around it so much, like the identity.
Yeah.
I remember one of the easiest reasons why I forgave my mother for not being present in my life was, I think I was maybe 10, 11.
Okay.
And even then, it was obvious to me that my mom was staying married because of society.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
yeah.
she had married my dad and it didn't work out. And oh, by God, her second marriage, regardless of what it was, she was going to make it work. And there was consequences for so many people. And when she finally untethered herself from that societal pressure, she was way
better.
older.
Oh,
too.
she was much older. Okay.
But I just couldn't fathom the unhappiness of the whole experience. Whether you're married or you're unmarried, divorce is stigmatized, yada yada. And I think, I'm not trying to be biased here, but I feel like men deal with separation, divorce a little bit easier and better because we are not as stigmatized as you're unmarried.
No, you
or,
guys are
that kind of
not.
thing.
You guys don't get that
So
stigmatization at all.
you're still working on yourself, or you think you're on the other side of it?
Oh, it's a daily thing. It's you keep working on yourself every day. Even as a single person, you have to keep working on yourself.
I mean, I'm only working to sleep with somebody because I'm single.
Oh, okay.
That's the only work. I mean, that's the only thing I think about.
That is if you think about it now, especially these times, doing that and going your way is better. Because Charlie, you go invest in somebody, spend years with them, and one day, braga, it's.
I love when you say Praga. It's like my favorite thing.
It is off.
Some tears.
When you're slapping the strippers, it's Praga. When it's divorce, it's Praga.
But also, I would
that.
say that my mom was a single mother. Hers was different from yours.
Okay.
In this way, my mom never ever got to have support from my father.
Wow.
I never saw my father. My father got my mom pregnant, and that was it. So my mom raised me through and through. And what that has taught me now is, if you are a single mother, I don't give a shit about men. But if you are a single mother, it can be crazy. Because I saw my mom go through it just for me. And it affected me psychologically crazy because fathers will come for their kids from school. And every day it is my mom. I've said it on this podcast again. At a point in time, I had to take my uncle's photo to school to show people that this is my father.
Oh my goodness.
But I never knew my father. I never ever saw him until late his final days.
Wow.
Crazy. So, Charlie, me there, for men, you have to be there for your child if you have sense. Point blank, period.
What do you think about physical presence as opposed to financial presence? Because society sometimes makes you feel like if you're supporting financially,
that's it.
That's not enough.
That is like 1%.
Yeah, that's not enough at all.
That is like 1%.
At
Like,
all, yeah.
like I feel, even though it didn't happen, I feel that if my mom had someone, not even my
Not your
dad,
yeah.
someone in her life to train me, I would have become someone else. Like we said earlier at the beginning, I haven't had anyone to mentor me. I didn't have anyone to look at that this is how a man is supposed to, behave and all that. Everything just came. So, Charlie,
freestyle.
to the men out there, Charlie, no matter what you do, the cons there, they be.
Yeah.
But as you do,
Booyaka!
But as you do, you have to know the consequences. What can come out?
Yeah.
A child.
Yes, sir.
And Charlie, you for day there. You for day there.
I always say that children, they remember the experiences.
Hey.
It's the experiences that they remember.
Hey.
Not the shoe you bought for them.
Yo.
Not the school bag or
experiences.
the clothes.
100%.
Their memories is always based on the experiences.
Yeah.
And it stays with them for a really long time. Because anything you do in their life is an experience for them.
Yeah.
So that one day when they're like us, that's what to remember.
Yeah.
You know?
If I'm just going pure scientific or academic, if you want to. If somebody studied your life forensically
Okay.
and studied your ex's life forensically and the relationship you guys had forensically and came out with analytical conclusion that personality-wise, even though you feel the way you feel and he feels the way he feels, that the divorce was inevitable based on the data. If they could show you data-wise to say the life that you lived and the life that he lived, the people that you were, that combination 9 times out of 10 is going to end up in divorce. Will that information matter to you at all?
Now or then?
No, then.
Then if somebody has shown me that this is what could happen.
No, after the divorce.
After
I'm
you're
saying
talking
in
after.
in the reality that you live now, if you gave yourself up to research, the two of you,
Right. Okay.
and the analysis data based on tried methods says to you that it was inevitable, and that the reason is you should have just flat out chosen a different person. Will that mean anything to you?
Actually, I think your question would be stronger if, let's say, they are about to, marry,
before.
and someone comes
Before,
to them
yes.
and shows you the data. That,
Yeah.
you know what, you are like this, your man too is like that. Based on research
We
and
don't
data,
think-
this thing wouldn't work.
I'm trying to, because the benefit of hindsight, the emotion I'm trying to, or the thought I'm trying to get out of you is you have the benefit of hindsight, and in your mind now, it sounds to me that you feel that divorce was an awful thing, right? So you've drawn a conclusion based on your experiences, and I'm asking, your experience is one thing, and the data is saying something totally different. To say that, nah, you couldn't have prevented this. There's nothing you could have done.
It was inevitable.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
So how would that make you feel? That's the one part of the question. So
I mean, there's data and then there's the human being, right? Those are two different things, even data has error margins, right?
but
And there's
this one is bulletproof.
no, please, because when two people decide to make something work, it works. Unless one person's determined that I'm out of here, and that will not be based on data. Like the
can make it
data
work in
can't
misery.
even. Yeah,
Some people make it work in misery.
Misery. They are not happy, but Charlie.
they are still in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give you a simple example. When you came on set, soon as Mutombo say, "Nah," I felt your energy right away.
Okay.
You are present. You're like energetic. You're there. Your mind is clicking on all cylinders. You're ready to go. We don't have to. Trust me. There are some people we have to nudge on to the
Right.
conversation.
Right.
You are on. Let's say your guy is not on, and for some reason, this thing is just, it doesn't work. Every time he's like, she's going to talk plenty about miscarriage, and she's on the blog talking, Charlie, I just want to drink my cocoa and have a little blowjob and sleep. And it's just not working. I'm just trying to paint a picture that if the divorce is inevitable and you have gone through it, and now you know that it wouldn't have worked anyway, is it going to make your prayer different? Is it going to make your life different? Because you know for a fact that the two of you were never meant to be.
Well, I think right now my prayers are more focused on becoming a better person.
Okay.
In terms of like forgiveness, in terms of healing, in terms of restoration. So I don't think it would bother me so much. Like, it's happened already. So
Do you pray for a new partner?
sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Today I want to ask you a question about prayer so that you can ask now when you're done. So prayer, I'm asking you that, is prayer just going in a room, getting on your knees, closing your eyes, and mumbling to a being
Unseen,
that
that you
you
can't
cannot
see.
see? Or can prayer be your deepest desires, thoughts, emotions as you're traveling this earth? The things that you want for your kids, the things that you want them to become, the family that you want to have. Obviously, you're human. So as you're walking through life, you express those thoughts in your head, or you feel those thoughts, you have those emotions, and the future is unknown. You have knowledge of the world. You say, God said everything has happened already. If you don't believe in God, you can throw it away. But how do you deal with, I don't want to use the word manifestation because it's so overused that it makes me annoyed, but how do you contend with your future desires for all the effort that you put and the love that you've poured into your kids? How do you express that? Because you're not praying. So how do you deal with saying it for it to be so, or hoping for it to be so?
Am I supposed to pray? Is it a must to pray? Like because you just said that because I'm not doing it. You know, I don't think as a human being I am supposed to pray.
What has replaced prayer for you?
Yeah,
That's a better question.
dope. Yeah. So when we say prayer, right, the church or people who believe in Jesus Christ think prayer is, like you said, either having your own personal, time with God and thinking or talking to him in your head or
Voicing it out.
making noise.
Yeah. Making noise.
Yes, I see it as making noise. Like back in the day, we have a woman, who with their megaphone. I have sacked her like once or twice, and she never came back. At dawn, 4 a.m. It is noise to me. And anytime we say prayer, we have come to understand prayer as saying things to someone that you don't see. That's why in the church, there is a time to pray. Okay, pray for your mom. Hey, then, like, that's when people want to show that they can speak in tongues. Like, that's when people show that they have the best, lines. It doesn't make sense. I feel prayer can be just thoughts, can be just, manifestations, can be just, having like, daydreaming. Oh, I'm dreaming of having a plush house or a plush car, or I'm dreaming of, good health, or I'm dreaming of long life for my kids. That dream and those thoughts, and then you working towards them. Because up till now, and I still stand on this, I think that prayer doesn't change anything. If it will happen, it will happen. Who are you to tell God what to do? I feel prayer only works if you are just thanking your God for life. Yes.
That's a contrast to what you're saying.
No. Prayer only God. I don't know Jesus Christ or God, but I think God will appreciate it more if you are giving thanks than to ask for jobs and cars and pens and chairs. It doesn't really make sense to me. Like, why do we want to change our life? Like, why do we think we have the power to change God's mind?
It's not just about changing his mind. It's a relationship with God.
Oh, child, the relationship, then it will be better for you to give thanks.
See, like, I think I was talking about how, like, my prayer life didn't.
It's resting on this answer.
I know.
Yeah.
How, like, people will expect that going through trauma or something would, negatively impact your faith, and people will expect that you're not going to go to church anymore. All that. I mean, people do that, But I find, personally, for me, I find my prayer life it's less about asking for things and more about this is what I'm feeling and talking to God about it. Like, I'm sad or I'm angry about this. Why did this have to happen? So I'm praying to God about my feelings because, like, they'll say he knows, but he wants you to talk to him.
How?
Because when you read Psalms, that's how King David was a murderer, an adulterer. What didn't he do?
That's my guy.
Like that guy was hard guy. Hard guy. But he was not
Straight up.
sharp. But he was called a man after God's own heart.
Like Mutombo.
Yes, amen. And he would cry out to God in his frustrations, in his anger, in all his emotions. He didn't hide it from God. And that is how I am now. Like, when I'm even frustrated with something, I just say, why? And then this. And look at how he spoke to me. Look at how she spoke to me. Why should she? That's the sort of relationship I have with him now. Even with my own kid, I maybe she does something and I react a certain way. I pray to God. I'm like, I shouldn't have acted like that. Help me to become a better mom. Help me to be more patient with her and help me to understand her as a child. Help me to be more nurturing. And honestly, it comes. It's not just speaking it out and then it manifests. It's you humbling yourself under a mighty
If you
power.
humble yourself before the Lord, He will lift you up.
Well, he will lift you up.
He will lift you up. He will lift you up.
Hallelujah.
If you humble yourself before the
Takarasa.
Lord, He
want to
will
prophesy.
lift you up.
I want to prophesy.
Yeah, that was just
No,
right.
now we're not mocking. We're just fun, having
Yeah.
fun. But I want to, Mutombo asked you a question that I thought was so important. And I want to piggyback off of it. He said he had asked you what you took from your mom that you're going to pass on to your daughter.
Right.
I want to ask a slightly different question.
Okay.
You were raised, obviously, by your mom. If it looks and feels like she did a hell of a job, right?
Mothers always
by
do.
both
Yeah.
parents.
By both parents, yeah.
Yes.
So
yeah.
how do you choose to pray for your daughter, or do you choose to teach her about the emotional balance she needs to survive this world, as opposed to maybe everything that you didn't know before you went through everything that you went through, the information that you have gathered now, if you believe that it would have helped you pre the experience? Is that information relevant? Do you think it would have an impact on your daughter, and is it something that you plan to teach her in that way, or you think her life is her own life and she's going to come out based on what she was born to be?
Well, they said train a child in the way you should go, right? And when they grow up, they will not depart from it. It's my responsibility as a mother. The dad also has his responsibility. But as a mother, there are so many Bible verses because I do everything based on God's word. I choose friends based on God's word. My lifestyle, a lot of it is based on, how God wants me to live my life.
Oh, so you the one night stand, you never.
Bro, stop it. We've been there, done that. It's not a good thing. So trust me,
Okay.
Anyway,
Carry on, I'm
but
sorry.
yeah, that definitely there are things that, I have learned and experienced that has given me more information that will help me to, impact into her life. So it's both ways. Everything is balanced. In this life, like everything must be balanced. You can't focus so much on your fitness, physical fitness, and be going to the gym all the time, and then you leave out your financial wisdom. Do you understand? You need a healthy balance of everything. Whether it's your finances, whether it's your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, everything must be balanced. Because there are people out there who, all they do is go to church and work. No fitness, no eating healthy, no social life, nothing. That's an imbalanced life. Because even in, is it Ecclesiastes? It says that, see, this life is short. Wear the colorful scarves, live life, but at the same time to tell you that be careful. There's consequences to your choices and all that. So no matter what we do, I feel like I mean, nobody's perfect, but living the balanced life is so important. Whether you're a parent or whether you're a single person, it's really crucial to our well-being.
Dope, Charlie. Make we move on. Now let's talk about food.
Yay! Let's go.
Eating.
Something that is so close to my
Let's
heart because
go.
I've been cooking a whole lot.
Hey, since when?
Oh, I dey cook bad.
I haven't
Bad.
seen your food.
Don't worry. One day I'm going to invite you over.
Okay,
So
that's
I
it.
cook.
I hear.
But how how did that transition happen? Because you
Yeah.
were into other things.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I'm coming to your spot to eat.
Yeah, you've
Ramen.
eaten my ramen before.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
did that transition happen?
Food is just interesting. So people ask me all the time. Like in the 90s, like we used to have a lot of cookbooks in our aunties and our uncles' houses.
Yeah.
And I'll go through all the cookbooks and I'm like, where am I going to get these ingredients
Yeah,
from? Where is this
yeah.
thing? And they're all colorful with like nice pictures and all that. The visuals are amazing. But, we didn't have those ingredients back then.
Yeah.
Of course, I wasn't working. So if even there was, I couldn't afford it. But over the years, now we have like Asian stores. We have the Max Marts and all that, more imports, of ingredients coming to the country. So now it's easier to experiment and try different, recipes and all that. So when I started blogging, I decided to create recipes using our local ingredients and the imported ones. So more like a fusion.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I was getting tired of the Ghanaian food.
Charlie.
Every
So
day,
tiring.
yam and plantain.
Or rice.
Or rice.
stew,
If it's not rice, it's yam. If it's not yam, it's gari. If it's not fufu, it's banku
beans.
or beans. I mean, they are great. I mean, I love
But
local
Charlie,
food.
no, it's all one
But
way.
I love variety. Personally, like I said, I'm a woman of passion. I'm very passionate about a lot of things. And passion means, being versatile, adventurous, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I think one of my experiences was traveling, when I was at Tullow. So traveling definitely exposes you to other cuisines,
Yeah.
So that's the first time I had ramen was in the UK. And I was like, this dish is like crazy,
Yeah.
And I had a dark ramen. So I was like, wait, there are no restaurants in Ghana making ramen.
Yeah.
Well, to my knowledge, So I came back home. I'm like, okay, let me try this ramen thing. And the recipes I found online, I was like, sure, this food will take about 6-7 hours to be ready, especially the broth.
Yeah.
So I did a few test recipes and all that, and finally found one that worked. And yeah, that's how come I started making ramen. I mean, I make other dishes as well.
Yeah.
But I started writing about the recipes on my blog, creating the different fusions on the blog, and it started catching on. People were like, oh, I didn't know you could use garden eggs for that, Because if you're vegan, you're Ghanaian and vegan, it's not only beans and plantain,
Yeah.
like most restaurants would sell to you. Because when you mention vegan, all they say is they have beans and plantain. But there's so much you can do with garden eggs.
Yeah.
There's so much we can do with even yam, whether it's, in Ghana, if you are not boiling it and using it as yam balls, what else? And fried
Yeah.
yam, we can use it as shepherd's pie. Instead of potatoes, you can use yam.
Yeah.
We can use our plantain for so many things, like plantain katsu, which is like, katsu is a Japanese form of breading plantain. So you dip the plantain in like egg and then in breadcrumbs and then you fry it. Yeah. So there's like amazing different ways we can use our ingredients. So I just wanted people to see the different ways to show them how it's possible. So I started doing the video recipes as well. And then I started Esses, which is named after my daughter.
After your daughter,
Yeah.
So, Fred, before you come in, so my thing is, I have been to yours, I think twice.
It's a
Yeah.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've
Where
been.
is it?
It's home based.
It's home base. Yeah. I think I should come there this week. Why would you? And I've seen someone tweet about it before, and I want to ask you, why would you give out your recipes and so instead of coming to you, I can go on your website or blog or your Twitter.
Because people don't have time. They don't have time to make the recipes.
You
A
actually
few
think-
people. No, so the recipes I share online are different from what I cook.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You know,
You cheat.
so I put out I put out the easy recipes, you know, that I feel like, oh, try it and make it this way. But at the restaurant, I just cook it differently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. So you like it? The fake weed.
No, see, even Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
You know Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah.
He shows you how to make a beef Wellington. And he'll show you from scratch. He has a course. I even paid for an online course how to make the beef Wellington. And it's amazing. It's like, you know, it's hard. It's very hard to do. And he's shown other restaurants are also making their own types of beef Wellington. You know, I mean, it's an open market, it's free market, you know. But would they make it as good as his? You know,
So
you know.
is Essie's going to be just ramen, and also is it going to be just home based?
Well, you know, I actually had a physical restaurant in East Legon, yes.
Yes.
You know, just when I was going to open, then COVID happened. So we couldn't open until lockdown was over. And then when we opened, they said it was restricted dining or something. Yeah. And then it was too much. Like, I couldn't keep up because we had paid a year's rent. Then I was just left with like 3 or 4 months to make up. And Ghanaian landlords are wicked like that. You know, whilst globally other landlords were giving restaurants
free, you know,
free
rent.
6 months rent, you know, because of COVID. Yeah, in Ghana, we're like, no, you have to still pay for the 1 year.
3 months. I gave my tenants 3 months.
That's nice. Really?
Truly.
Oh, that's good. So I still had to pay like the next year for another year, and I hadn't made enough, you know. So yeah, it really puts a hole in my savings, and I had to recoup, and divorce is not cheap either. So your money goes into a lot of things, you know. So I hope to find a new space. God willing, I'm praying for an investor. And so interesting. Like, people want to partner with you, but it's like the men, and then they have their own hidden agenda too.
They for eat.
Really?
They for eat the show you.
It's the show. Speak well.
So, they for eat, Charlie.
What are you saying?
No, I think I agree with Fred.
Yeah, they for eat.
They have to
Speak. They have to what?
Test.
try like
I
do
mean,
test.
do tasting.
Yeah, do tasting before.
I
Try
hear
the
you.
different.
I think that will convince them to invest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
how you dey place the things.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yeah.
You are here. Anyway, yes. So,
Wow.
It will come back. It will come back.
I mean, we've had
but Ghanaians love the ramen.
yeah,
you know.
yeah, same.
I wanna try
I
it.
have different
Try to if you dey
types.
go, call me, I beg you.
I have different types that I really want to do, you know.
Are you open tomorrow?
Yes, I am actually. I do jollof. I do like other dishes as well. People love my jollof.
And is it just you doing your home, servings, or or someone can book you for an event, like let's say a wedding? I'm about to have a wedding.
People book me for like private catering and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to ask, because you and Mutombo were talking about the monotony of our dishes. Yam, rice, beans, fufu, so on and so forth. Why is it that our foods are not generally as influential in other cultures? Like, I've never heard the Japanese whine about their cuisine, or maybe the English do because they have no, besides fish and chips. But I've never heard the Chinese or anybody particularly say, "Oh, I'm tired of the monotony of our dishes. We need to try these ingredients and try this." Do you think it's a consequence of just exposure, us being exposed to those places and them not being exposed to us, and therefore not feeling like they have to infuse, or is this some complex that we have that we think our foods are not good enough?
Our foods are amazing. Ghanaian food is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I sometimes tweet how like, the different recipes or the spices that we even have and how to use them differently, and how to season your meats even with the different spices that we have. Because sometimes people just use garlic, ginger, and onion. But we have aniseed, which is in kite, we have cinnamon, we have nutmeg. We have so many spices in Ghana, but don't forget, these other cultures that you mentioned, the Chinese, they are like billions. How many are they?
1.6 or 1.8.
Their cuisine is so vast and it's insane. And they eat all kinds of animals and, they'll never, run out of ideas or anything, But for us, I think we need more different types of recipes. So, for example, agushi. You know agushi, right? It's a seed. What do we use it for? Agushi stew.
And contemporary.
And then
Something else I forgot.
like what?
We don't really use
Exactly.
But
it's
the black man problem now.
It's an amazing
Actually,
seed.
you used to chew it raw.
Yes, and you can actually toast it and chew it like granuts.
Really?
It's delicious. I'm telling you, I've done it so many times. And if you're vegan, it's something you can easily make like vegan meatballs by using agushi. One day I'll make that recipe and share it online. You see, so we are not experimenting enough with the different ways we can eat our own.
It's in the DNA.
And then when you do something different, someone will be like, hey, and what is this? It's like we have this, way of like shying away from the new. And we box ourselves. We are always in the same, as for me, it's only fufu I eat, Or me, it's only banku I eat. You are not open to try new things. But that's changing. I mean, the new generation, and millennials are more open to trying different varieties of dishes. The other time I made cocoa pasta or cocoa spaghetti. So I made spaghetti from scratch, but I used that cocoa powder. Cocoa powder, aside from drinking and making chocolates, you can use it to season pork.
Wow.
Yes. Pork chops seasoned with cocoa, ginger, garlic, onion, and then some chili. It's insane. Yes. And you have to try these different things to know how it works,
And you were making all these things when you were married?
Wow.
It's not food that keeps someone in marriage.
Hey, Charlie.
No, I wasn't implying that.
Some of us here for food, though, Charlie.
For me, it's not food, but I know a lot of guys that it is. But you were?
Yes.
Oh.
That's dope,
It's
Charlie.
amazing stuff.
Yeah. So I was pulling up some stuff here
Hey, what are you
that I
pulling up?
want us to go through.
Hey, Mutumbo, relax.
Oh no, it's not any. Thinking of the number of men who show investor interest in S's, but only to text me. It's Friday night to WhatsApp.
But I just said that anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
He's really put up old
women
tweets.
can survive being by themselves after death or divorce for several years more than men.
Yeah.
That's another profound tweet. No one more persistent than a rejected married man.
Yes.
Sia, the way I hate
It's
nonsense.
nonsense. It's like a woman becomes single, immediately like all kinds of men come her way,
Yeah.
Like men who want to be her savior, like, oh, I'm here for you, or like, it's always the wrong type anyway. Like, like the married man.
Yeah, the married. Oh, okay. I mean, okay. Learn how to start and sustain a conversation instead of small chats and 8% screen time whilst on a date.
Conversation is so critical. I don't know about you guys, but the minute you hit a certain age, know how to create and sustain a conversation with the opposite sex or with the same sex, whichever. Because several times, for me, like I've always known how to date myself. So I can take myself out to dinner and eat by myself. But whilst I'm there, I'm like looking at other people there. And there's hardly any conversation going on.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll talk a little and spend more time on the screen, And for me, like, I get worried. I'm like, hey, so what are people really talking about when they go home? Like,
You've misread the scene.
everybody just WhatsApp or stay on WhatsApp or like TikTok, and it's super unhealthy.
Yeah.
So I think I suggested a book in that tweet by Larry King, how to talk to anyone, anywhere, at any time. So it shows you how you can approach even a total stranger and create a conversation. So I've even found it much easier to even compliment someone, a total stranger, like, oh, that's a really nice, or where'd you get that, and then you start from there, or you're on a date with someone, what do you talk about? Do you just, send the person TikTok videos and then hope the person will laugh, or like you actually have a rich conversation to start,
I mean, for conversations with strangers, well, I might have no issues start like approaching someone and starting a conversation, but sometimes it's the ball, like yeah, I'm going to start a conversation with Fred, who I don't know, and I've met Fred at some party, and then what? Like, I'm at that phase where I'm tired of those things. I just want to and
No new friends.
Yeah, exactly. But people are saying it is bad. I have to still open myself up to speak to people and all that, especially from the places that I go, and for people who know me, and with the benefits I can get, I have to spread my wings.
Right.
And I'm like, man, Charlie,
it's a form of networking opportunities.
but it can be stressful.
Labor.
And I think people are so pretentious. If you come at me and go like, oh, I like your shirt, or I like your, you just want to talk. Let's talk, and you don't like.
No, it's just a form of it's an icebreaker. They want to look for something to break the ice and create conversation. I was talking to one mom, a divorcee like me as well, and she was telling me how like people were always telling her she had a bitch resting face, and she wasn't even aware, so it's sort of like prevented people from talking to her. She always had this look on her face, so we were talking about it. I was like, that's actually true, because sometimes like you can be then you're not even aware you have such a like canky face, so that prevents other people from approaching you, and or it gives off bad vibes.
You said something about baby brain.
Yeah.
So if a guy doesn't have sex for a long time, does that?
Am I a
Is there
guy?
research? I'm talking about me.
How would I know?
I'm saying, I'm giving you the experience. I'm saying, is there research that's reflecting loss of memory?
memory. Yeah.
If you don't have sex for a long time.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it will affect you
mentally, yeah.
mentally.
What that
No. It's not true.
Oh boy.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That's funny. But okay, back to the conversation thing. Thank God for memory. You were talking about going into places and seeing people not interacting.
Yeah.
I wanted just to say that I think maybe you're misreading the scene. A lot of dates in Ghana are very transactional. You're there to spend my money. I really don't want to be here. I'm waiting for the experience to be well, so me too, I can go and eat your body.
True.
And they are not really.
But what
here
about
to-
married couples then?
So let's talk about conversation.
All right.
When you go out and you want to spend time with maybe a loved one or somebody that you care about, and do you think that because you've been married before, Mutombo is married, do you think that there's a thing of being in a relationship with someone for so long that you have discussed almost every topic, and now you know where everybody stands, and everybody's like, okay, I mean, well, I don't want to talk about Trump, I don't want to talk about politics, I don't want to talk about Akufo-Addo and how he's killing the country and excuses, and question is, how do you manage the conversation being exciting still from your perspective in a long-term relationship?
It's you can talk about yourselves, what you're going through, because the thing is, how you started marriage, you're not the same person throughout. Do you understand? So you can always, it's a form of like assessment, like how are you actually doing? How do you think I'm doing so far? These are things that creates conversations. And when someone asks you, how was work today? Oh, it was fine. No, that's not conversation. Like, you should actually go into details, like how you're overcoming the challenges at work, what's spurring you on, etc. Talking about real details, not just, the external environment, because I feel like a lot of people hide themselves from who they are or who they are becoming from their partners. So that it gets to a point, this person will be like, you don't know me anymore. Like, but you're not talking about yourself. So how would you say the person is not knowing you anymore?
You describe yourself as a very passionate woman. Do you think what have you been more passionate about? The cooking, the other things that you do in your life? Or would you say that you've been as passionate about your love life as well? If you were to rank them.
That's interesting. I haven't thought of this before, but the cooking, I've been cooking for 4 years. I would say my love life. Yeah. Then the cooking, and then motherhood.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I think I'm a very passionate mom, because like I really engage with my kids' playtime. Like when I buy her coloring pencils, I'm coloring with her, or like we are playing a game, like we are doing it together, so I'm very engaged with her on that, and sometimes I want to win, so so it's good because she knows that she can connect with me on that level.
Throughout this conversation, we know you have one child, but you keep on saying my kids.
I didn't say kids, that was a slip of tongue.
But you've done it like 3 times.
No.
Do you want more kids?
From where?
You say you pray for a partner now.
Yeah, but maybe
you've closed the shop when the new partner comes.
the partner will come with another kid.
Yeah.
Usually when that happens, you are both okay. But we'll see. I mean, I feel like I'm my age and having another child there some way. Unless I have like 2 nannies.
Are you our age? I hear you're not supposed to ask a woman her age, but
no, I'm older than you.
How do you know?
You said
I'm older
90s.
than
We're
you.
all in the 90s, my friend, please. She grew past.
I wasn't born in the 90s. I was born in
The early
80s.
80s.
You know, grow past you now.
Okay, here.
Yeah, we're all
No, now grow past you like a year or
Like
some
one,
months.
like 1 year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or maybe Sav will be the same. Yeah.
Can I just say something to comfort her?
Yeah.
Not that you need comfort,
Okay.
but don't feel crazy in this town that your partner pool is crap, because it is. And the way that you think, the way that you move, the things that you care about is very, very difficult to find people who are mentally and emotionally aligned to even meet you at that level. And it's always going to be a circus.
I know, right?
So
Yeah.
good luck. I hope you find the one, and you deserve it.
Dope, Charlie.
Thank
Guys,
you.
without further ado, because we've gone way overboard with this conversation without
wow.
feeling it. Without further ado, like you
It's his
always
fault.
know, you
Yeah,
have
blame
to,
me.
you have to,
I was enjoying the conversation.
you have to join the club. You have to be a part of us. You have to, and we are not asking for your money.
We are.
We are just
I
saying
am.
that you have to subscribe, you have to follow, you have to join the family by telling someone else about the podcast, about this episode with the amazing Naa Oyoo and all the other dope episodes. We thank you for checking us out. Go to Essie's to check out her ramen. I recommend. Is it the pork? Do I always have the pork? Yeah.
But you like the tofu too.
Yeah. I've had pork and I've had
the
your
tofu.
tofu.
Yeah.
Charlie, you have to check it out. You have to check her out. Twitter, Naa Oyoo.
Oyoo Korte.
Naa Oyoo Korte. Very, very
Instagram,
active.
Oyoo
You know,
Korte.
always bashing
My
men
girl
out
and
there.
that my sister.
Yeah, Charlie. So guys, Charlie.
I'm not gonna dang, I'm gonna.
It's the same.
No.
Yeah. The same. You're one family.
We are one family.
Yeah.
One family. Charlie, guys, the If More Let's Divide podcast.
Thank
Fred.
you.
Yes, sir.
We are through.
Booyaka.
Are we taking a photo? All right. Awesome stuff.